Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, we've talked a lot about MW2 ever since it was first revealed not too long ago. There's been a lot of leaks and rumors surfacing regarding the game, most of which details some brand new features coming to the game and different things with multiplayer maps or different engine-based things. Today we have some very interesting leaks though that honestly, out of everything that we've seen surface so far from all the leaks and the rumors and the official confirmations, I'm the most concerned about and the most worried about because it does bring up some questions when it comes to the longevity of this game, but also the innovation of this game. So as we go through it all today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. We haven't gone for a like goal in a super long time, so let's try and go for 2,000 likes on this video. And if you're new here or if you have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. So if you want to stay up to date with everything, feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So the sort of light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to these leaks, which like I said, do bring some worry into my mind, is that these are just leaks at the end of the day. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to come to fruition. They could very easily just be leftover files. They could be scrapped. They could be updated in various ways by the time that we actually see MW2 launch this fall. That said, if they do come to fruition, there are some questions that probably should be asked, but this information is coming from Reality over on Twitter. I'm sure if you are keeping up to date with all the MW2 leaks and a lot of just the COD leaks in general, you know Reality's name by now. But recently, the Warzone mobile game Project Aurora, as it's also known, has been put out in an alpha stage. And in those files, there's a lot of different game files relating to Warzone 2 under the tag of IW9, which is basically the engine that's being used for MW2 and Warzone 2 and whatnot. So a lot of the stuff that we've seen tagged under that is presumably for Warzone 2. Some of it actually has even been hidden since we last talked about it with different map locations and names and stuff like that. So take that for what it's worth. But recently Reality put out a tweet saying returning perks in Modern Warfare 2 as per the Warzone mobile files. So all the perks that we could see return in MW2 multiplayer as of right now include Amped, Engineer, Restock, Ghost, High Alert, Overkill, Battle Hardened, Kill Chain, Scavenger, Shrapnel, and Cold-Blooded. Now, Reality does also in this tweet by saying, bear in mind, these are not all the perks, just those that are currently in the Warzone mobile files with that IW9 tag. So that is what, 11 perks, 10, 11 perks there that are all being apparently reused for MW2 and Warzone 2. Now, you might sort of be able to figure out where my worry and where my concern stems from here. If we're seeing our perk categories in MW2 and Warzone 2 predominantly made up from perks that we've already had in a game that is built on this a similar engine that's going to feel somewhat close to MW 2019 and Warzone as we know it now, is that game gonna really feel all that fresh when it comes to gameplay if we're using the same exact perk setups as before? You know, if we're still running Overkill and Amped and Ghost or EOD or whatever the case may be. Obviously that's not on this list per se, but you get the gist of it there. That is something that I was not necessarily expecting to hear. We've been hearing a lot about how, you know, MW2 here, full 3-year development cycle, first time since MW 2019, action-packed, content-packed with a ton of multiplayer maps that have already been leaked that we talked about before. I'd expect a ton of innovation, a ton of new features and content pieces in every single corner you look at in this game. To see a list that long of returning perks, potentially, keep in mind these could just be leftover files for all we know, but if that ends up coming to fruition, that is a lot of reused stuff that I feel like definitely takes away from the game feeling fresh and feeling unique and really feeling new and not so much of a MW 2019 DLC, you know what I'm saying? And also, you know, in COD, obviously we're gonna have some similar perks every year. For instance, Ghost. That's something we pretty much always see in COD. Now, depending on how it works, it could be very controversial or completely okay if it's hiding you off the map, you know, when you're moving, but not when you're standing still. Things like Cold-Blooded are always there, Scavenger's always there, Overkill's always there. Sometimes we get Underkill. Stuff like that's to be expected, but all of these perks, that's a lot. Like, let's say we have 3 perk categories, and I think in MW 2019 we launched with 5 or 6 perks per category, so there were 15 to 18 perks in the game at launch, right? If we have 10, 11 here, that's the vast majority of what we could potentially be seeing in game. That just doesn't seem like that much new factor, I guess you could say. Like, I want that fresh feeling. I want that unique feeling when it comes to playing MW2 versus MW 2019. And this information surfacing here does make me sort of question, is this going to feel like a DLC, or is this going to feel like a brand new game? Now, of course, this is a very small aspect of the game, just the perks. Obviously, we know of everything else that's been leaked and rumored so far with Warzone 2, the map there, the DMZ mode, all the multiplayer maps, potential modes, the new modes that we have confirmed. So this is just a very, very small piece of the much larger puzzle, but nonetheless, I feel like it is worth looking into and, questioning and, looking at it in a more objective stance, saying, this could be not super ideal, you know what I mean? On top of that, also, I did want to bring up, Reality followed that tweet up with a few other tweets about other stuff. He says, very unsurprising that these are returning, but posting them anyways for those impressions. The cluster strike, deployable cover, UAV, and munitions box were also listed in the files, apparently. I'm not particularly disappointed to hear that any of those are returning like I would be with these perks. A lot of those are sort of basic stuff that I would not be surprised to see in any given COD. Black Ops 5, Black Ops 65, MW2, MW19 does not matter. That's pretty standard stuff for COD, right? He also says there was a new pistol and a new marksman rifle added too. I assume that's for Warzone 2 though, if it's got the IW9 tag and not for Warzone as we know it now, or Vanguard. But yeah, there's new weapons. That doesn't really mean much for us though at this point in the game, just because we don't really have all that many confirmations outside of what we've seen in the trailers and the key art and stuff like that so far. Now, something else I do feel like is worth adding on here, based off of previous information that we've discussed on the channel a little while back, Tom Henderson in the past has also said that apparently pro perks are going to be in the game, at least for like Warzone 2. As of what he's heard recently, they could potentially be gained by completing the various stronghold tasks, which, as we've also talked about, is supposedly the way that you can get your loadout in Warzone 2. But that said, if we had a lot of these returning perks that obviously we have now in Warzone, but we also have pro variants of them like back in the OG MW2, perhaps then, despite them being obviously similar in a lot of ways, we end up seeing some more diversity and that sort of unique feel to using a lot of them, because the pro upgrades that come with them change things a little bit more than having the same reused perk that we just played in MW 2019 and Warzone over the past couple of years. So that is something else important to note, like I said, that I think could potentially also shine some light as to why perhaps we have so many repeats. Of course, though, we're gonna have to wait and see if this ends up being the case. Once the beta rolls around here, we'll have a good idea of what some of the perks are going to be, and obviously we'll get more information as we get closer to the multiplayer reveal, and obviously launch as well being the biggest part of it all. So that said, as we get any new information on this, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. I'll keep you guys in the loop, so make sure you are subscribed with those noties turned on. That way you can be up to date with everything going on in COD between MW2, Warzone 2, Warzone as it stands right now, and anything else going on. And if you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. Also, all this weekend, Gamer Advantage actually has free shipping on top of code IMMORTAL, getting you 10% off your orders. So prime time to pick up some new glasses if you have not already. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.